Animal cruelty. Animal abuse is something that has been going unnoticed for a long time. It was not the people who owned pets that wanted to change how animals were treated and what was to be considered abuse and cruelty. It was the people who worked in agricultural operations. The first Animal Humane Society was founded in London in 1824, and later in 1911, Parliament passed the Protection of Animals Act, which states that it is wrong for people to cause animal suffering. The protection of animals in Europe started the change to protect animals. Later, the United States followed, forming the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, ASPCA, in the 19th century. The ASPCA started to create animal shelters and animal control to help abused animals. As the years went by, more animal abuse programs were being created. The Animal Welfare Act was passed in 1966 and has been changed. In the United States today, if a person is guilty of animal cruelty, they can be charged with heavy fines and prison time. We should help stop animal cruelty and save animals by helping programs like ASPCA in animal cruelty issues such as dogfighting, puppy mills, animal hoarding, and farm animal welfare. Dogfighting is one of the most inhumane forms of animal cruelty. It is where dogs are forced to fight against one another for entertainment or profit. Dogs that are used for fighting are usually raised in isolation, spending most of their lives hooked to short, big, heavy chains. They are pumped full of drugs like steroids to muscle them up and make them aggressive, so they will be good at fighting. And they are also have their ears and tails cut so they don't have anything for other dogs to grab a hold of during the fight. Despite the fact that dog fighting is illegal in 50 states, it still goes on in every country in all different areas. Dog fighting can happen anywhere from places like alleys to warehouses. Dog fighting is usually staged in a large square pen where dogs fight against each other for minutes or even hours, sustaining horrible injuries or even being killed. Puppy mills are large breeding factories where profits are more important than the well-being of animals. Animals in puppy mills are usually kept in overcrowded wire cages that cause injuries to their paws. They do not get the vet services, food, water, or human care they need. Females are bred every chance they can be, with little to no recovery in between litters, and when they are no longer able to breed, they are usually killed. The puppies are usually sold as young as 8 weeks and are usually sold through the internet, paper, etc. Because these pups are sold so young and do not get time they need with their mothers, they often suffer from fear, anxiety, and other behavior issues. Puppy mills are all about making a big profit because of these dogs are often bred with little thought about the genetic quality of the dog. Puppy mill pups are more likely to have hereditary conditions including heart disease and blood and respiratory disorders. Also, they often arrive in pet stores and in their new homes with diseases, parasites, or pneumonia. It is often very hard to find these puppy mills. The ASPCA thinks that they could be as many as 10,000 puppy mills in the United States alone. The Animal Welfare Act requires that minimum standards for care and treatment be provided for certain animals bred for commercial sale. The Act provides guidelines for housing, enclosures, exercise, feeding, watering, sanitation, and handling. It is enforced by the U.S. Department of Agricultural, Animals, and Plant Health Inspection. Violators of these laws may be subject to criminal or civil penalties or may have their license revoked. In a house near Mesa, Arizona, nearly 40 different animals were removed from the house where they were living in a cruel environment. living in their feces with little food, water, and care. The owners were to face many charges of animal abuse. Investigators said they are hoarding these animals to sell and make a profit off of them. Animal hoarding is when an individual has more animals than they can properly take care of, which typically leads to animal neglect. Animal hoarding is serious animal cruelty issue. Over 250,000 animals become victims of animal hoarding every year in the U.S. Many different animals can be victims of animal hoarding, such as dogs, cats, and even reptiles. Animal hoarding is covered under the American Cruelty Statute, which typically requires caretakers to provide plenty of food, water, and vet care to all animals owned. In most cases, charges of animal hoarding can be a difficult process and may not be the best way to handle the situation because hoarders are often emotionally troubled rather than criminals. In California, chickens on a chicken farm were packed row after row in cramped cages where they were barely able to move and were pecking at one another. When trying to talk to the owner of the chicken farm, the owner refused to speak and told them to leave. The owner is facing 16 different counts of animal cruelty. Most of the animals raised for food are raised on factory farms where the profit is more important than the well-being and care of these farm animals. Most people think that state and federal laws protect these farm animals from animal cruelty. However, the sad truth is that animals that are raised for food are the least protected by animal laws. Many animals are victims of animal cruelty every day, whether they are being used for dog fighting, raised in puppy mills, being hoarded with several other animals, or neglected on a farm to be turned into food and made a profit of. Animals should be given loving and caring homes where they can enjoy life and be happy just like humans. They do not deserve to be treated cruelly. If we do not take actions and help in animal cruelty, millions of animals will continue to die every day. A few ways to tell if an animal is being treated cruelly are if they are in poor condition or have visible trauma, if they have lack of food, water, and shelter, or unsanitary shelter. There are too many animals living in an area. They have strange behavior or appear to be trained for fighting, and if an owner is abusive to the animal. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals is a nonprofit organization that works toward helping animals that are neglected, abused, and abandoned by providing shelter, food, water, and vet services. By donating to this organization or adopting a pet from this organization, you can help save the lives of many animals. The Humane Society of the United States helps stop cruelty with all animals, not just dogs and cats. They stop large-scale cruelties such as animal fighting, puppy mills, factory farming, and wildlife trade. They also care for more than 100,000 animals each year through rescue teams, sanctuaries, and wildlife centers, free veterinarian care for low-income pet owners, and other life-saving programs. By donating to the Humane Society of the United States, you can help end animal cruelty.